Hello and welcome to the Math Memory System, improving your memory one day at a time. My name is Andrea Hall with the Study Hall Education Consulting Company, and today we're going to talk about how we can use different methods to improve your memory. First, the setup is pretty simple. We're going to be using a simple index card box. So go ahead and get your basic index card box, 41 tab dividers, and index cards. And I'll have these links posted below so that you can directly click to the link and find what you need. So index card box, 41 tab dividers, and index cards. And of course, the tab dividers are index card tab dividers, so they're smaller. So let's go ahead and talk about the dividers, labeling these 41 dividers. What are you going to put on them? So on the first tab, you're going to put daily. That's it, and daily. That's what you're going to have on the first tab. On the next two tabs, you're going to have odd on one tab and even on the other. So odd on one tab, even on the other. And then on the next 7 tabs, there's 7 days of the week. We're going to have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So that's what you're doing on the next 7 tabs, the 7 days of the week. Once you have that done, what we're going to label now are how many days there are in a month. So they have 31 days in a month. So I'm going to put 1 on one tab, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Then I'm going to keep going. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, and finally 31. So I have the dates of the month, one on each tab. All right, so what do we do on the index cards? So we've labeled the tabs. Now what are the index cards? How do we use that? This is where we put our math facts. And this is when it's going to be really unique to your math course for what you're learning, what you're trying to reinforce for yourself or maybe for your child. So the system for the math facts is when you're labeling the cards, you're going to read the math fact aloud. You're going to draw an example of the math fact, or you're going to work out a problem related to the math fact. And then you're going to read the math fact aloud again. So this is what you're going to do with the index cards, but what do you put on the index cards exactly? So we know when we get our index cards, we're going to read the math fact aloud, we're going to draw an example or work out a problem, and then we're going to read the math fact aloud again. So what are we talking about when we talk about math facts? Well, for example, a math fact would be adding integers. This is a very important concept, but one that gets confused a lot of the times when students start learning about subtracting integers, multiplying and dividing integers. So you would want to have a math fact for each one of those. So here we're talking about adding integers. Well, how do you add if the signs are the same? So same signs, if it's a positive plus a positive or a negative plus a negative. Well, here's an example of the math fact. 20 plus 43, or negative 54 plus negative 32. So you would want to answer this problem on a sheet of paper or in your head and say, okay, what's the answer? What's the answer? On the back of it, that's where you'll have the answer. So if the signs are the same, you add and keep the sign they have in common. That's the answer. And then 20 plus 43 would be 63. And then negative 54 plus negative 32 would be negative 86. Negative 86 would be negative 86, right? You keep the sign they have in common. They're both negative. So your answer would be negative. So when you're reviewing your math fact every day, you would want to change this, right? And check your answer, right? So maybe if you're a parent doing this for your child, you want to have maybe a worksheet and you just give them 2 problems. This is a math fact. This is a review, okay? So this is something that you do if you're reviewing adding integers. So that's one example. Another example is what do you do if the signs are different? And so in adding integers, you definitely want to make sure you talk about what do you do if the signs are different signs, a positive plus a negative or a negative plus a positive. So if you have 20 plus negative 43 or 54 plus negative 32, they're both, one is a positive, one's a negative. The answer on the back, subtract and keep the sign of the larger number if you remove the negative symbol. So for example, 20 plus negative 43. So I would subtract 43 minus 20 and I would get 23. If I ignored that negative sign in front of the 43 would be larger than a 20. So I'm going to make my answer negative since the 43 is larger and it's negative. Again, 54 plus negative 32, I'm going to subtract and I get 22. I don't know what's wrong with my math when I create the cards. I create them so quickly. So 54 minus you're going to say 54 minus 32, and you get 22. And because that's a positive 54, your answer stays positive because the 54 is larger than the 32. So I ignore the symbols when I'm looking to figure out which one is larger. We call that absolute value, the larger absolute value, when you make something positive. Okay, so that's adding integers. That's adding integers. And those are the facts that you want to put on your card. So then next, another math fact that you probably want to review are your multiplication tables. So you would have 12 index cards for one set of times tables, since you list them individually. So for your 12 times tables, for example, on one side you would have 12 times 1, and the other side you'll put the answer, which is 12, and you continue until you've listed the tables for the 12. Now, it's really important that your child actually does this, because it's easy to go ahead and get a pre-labeled index cards or pre-labeled cards, but the actual process of creating the index cards actually helps your child memorize these concepts. So please, you're cheating yourself and your child out of the learning experience if you get pre-printed cards. Okay, so for example, here's how it looks. 12 times 1 on one side, the answer is on the other, 12. 12 times 12 on one side, 144 is the answer. 12 times 2 on one side, 24 is on the back. Have them create the cards, because by creating it, they learn it. Okay, so you've created all these different math facts. What do you do? Well, whatever you start off with daily. These are the facts you're going to review every day. So whatever it is that you're learning, you put that under daily. That's what you review every day. Once your child has memorized that, you move the daily back to the next tab. Okay, so what do you do each day? So you move the daily back to the next tab, either odd or even. Once they've memorized that, you move it back to the days of the week tab, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Once they have it memorized, once you've done with that, you move back to the next tab. So you're always moving it back a tab daily. So for example, if today is Monday, September 18th, I'm going to always read the daily tab. Then, because 18 is an even number, I'm going to read the tab that's under even, the cards that are under even. And then because today is Monday, I'm going to read the tab, the index cards under the Monday tab. And because today's the 18th, I'm going to read the index cards under the number 18. Okay, so every day I'm going to be reviewing 4 math facts. Again, so say today is Tuesday, November 19th. I'm always going to read the one under daily, right? Today's the 19th. So I would read the one under odd, because 19 is an odd number. It's a Tuesday, so I read the tab under Tuesday. And then it's the number 19, because it's a November 19th. I would read the index cards under 19. Okay? And so here's another one. If today is Sunday, July 17th, right, I'm always going to read the daily tab. The 17 is an odd day, so I'm going to read it under odd. And then it's Sunday, so I'm going to read the index cards under Sunday. And then it's the 17th, so I'm going to read the card under 17. So that's pretty much how you figure out what you read each day, what you review each day. But when you're starting out, you'll probably just have one tab that you're reading out of, which is daily. And you keep reviewing the daily until your child has it memorized. And then you move it back to odd or even. Once they have another daily memorized, you move the card back one. So you keep moving it, you keep introducing a new math fact. Once they have it memorized, you move it back. And that's how you end up filling up all the tabs. So you don't fill up all the tabs all at once, unless there's some that you already have memorized and you just want them to review it throughout the month. And I just explained, once the facts are memorized, what do? Place a check on a card and move the index card back one tab. And that's all, folks. I hope that helped you as you're memorizing some math facts and that you'll use the system. I'd love to get your comments, so definitely share them below.